Mr. Hargrave coming to you live on Twitch, and tonight we are talking about the Black Order. We're talking about essential T4 abilities on the Black Order. Now, for a lot of players, a lot of high-end players, you already have these characters fully maxed out. So this isn't really a question, but as newer players come up into the game, they're going to want to power up their Black Order. It is still going to be a great team all year on war, in raids. And what T4s are the most important ones for the Black Order and for Thanos, of course. So let's look at these. Let's look at Glaive. Now, I think I have almost all of these all the way maxed out. But that's because they were the dominant arena team all last year in 2020. That may not be that's definitely not going to be the case this year. Dr. Doom's going to come in, Silver Surfer. So you're definitely going to still see a lot of use out of this team. There's going to be value in building it, but maybe not to the extreme levels that it has been at for the previous year. I'm going to say Glaive's basic is pretty great. And this might end up being an expensive team. But Glaive, his basic, is definitely S tier for the assist from Proxima. It'll cost you 180 T4s. That one, I would say you probably need that. Looking at his special, I don't think you need that much else here. This is extra damage, and it's a lot of damage for his special and his ultimate, but we can probably skip it. This one's big. You're getting more damage. All the Black Order gets more damage from this. The passive from Glaive is a big one. That has always been one of the first ones that you do when you build up your Black Order, and that costs you 200. So we're already spending. We're already buying two here. Proxima, very good character. A lot of people taking her into Dark Dimension 4. If you're taking her into Dark Dimension 4, if you're taking her to tier 15, probably worth it to max her out. Very good character, but let's see what we can do for a minimum. Once again, gotta go for her basic. Proxima's basic, always calling an assist from Glaive, and if you do both of their basics, it's going to tie into each other. You're going to get extra value out of having both of those up, since it takes the damage from the basic and amplifies it when they assist each other. So you're definitely going to want to think about that. Her special, you're getting offense down for 2 turns. You know, you're not going to live that long against the Black Order, so it doesn't matter. You're getting more reduction in the speed bar off of this. I don't think you really need it because you're stunning. It's fine. When we're talking about just using it like on a war offense team, these overpowered Black Order teams are fantastic, but really it's overkill a lot of these times. So on her passive, you're getting more focus. I'm going to say you can skip this. It's definitely good. Always being able to clear stealth from the most injured ally is pretty cool, but not really needed. Okay, let's go over to Ebony Maw. Ebony Maw is still a great raid character, even if he falls out of the arena meta. You don't need his basic. I don't think you really... If you use him in raids, you definitely need this. If you use him in war, probably not as much. Having defense up for 2 turns is definitely great in raids. A must-have for that, definitely an A rank, if not an S rank for raids. But not as needed for just a war offense team. Getting extra speed bar and reducing extra speed bar. This one you're going to want. So for Ebony Maw, you want his ultimate for that speed alteration. That'll cost you 240. And his passive gets more resistance. You can probably get away without it. You can skip it. All right, the big guy, the big tank. I skipped his... Now, I've made do with him without his basic, his special, and his ult this whole time that I've used him in the arena, holding like in the top 10. So he definitely doesn't need this stuff. It's just a little bit of extra on top. My Cull has always been like my weak link. All right, this is needed though. You're definitely going to want to give him his passive just to get the extra health. And give him extra damage. when he assists. That's 200. All right, let's look at Thanos. Thanos is definitely another character that a lot of people take into Dark Dimensions, and he's good for that. You got to look at him in two different ways. I'm almost going to say that it's entirely worth it to fully max out Thanos and all of his abilities. On a budget, all right, we really got to look at him empowered. I think you can skip his basic if you're on a budget. Gotta highly consider going all in on Thanos, though. Flip all positive effects to negative effects. Yeah, when you go from a number to all, it's usually a good sign that you can't skip it. So his special is definitely important, especially if you're doing Black Order on Black Order, or Black Order on any of these big teams. You want to flip all those positive effects. You'll want a special. I think you can skip the alt. It's really good to have the extra damage on this, no lie. But it is also overkill. So you probably don't need it. You should probably grab it. It's definitely A rank. I'll mark it down. Thanos ult. Definitely. If you find the team isn't winning, this is one to come back and grab. And then you have his passive. This gives you more speed bar. Lowers armor for all enemies. That's also quite good. All right, so I'll do Thanos. I'll do his passive too. Gonna make this a bit of an expensive team, but you're gonna get a lot out of it. It's definitely gonna be worth it. So for Thanos and the Black Order, you're looking at Glaive's basic and passive. Proxima's basic. I feel like I missed her passive. We don't need her passive? Black Order, here we go. Just want to double check her passive. Okay, it's just the extra focus. We can get away with it. It definitely helps, but I would say high B, low A for her passive. So let's do Glaive's basic and passive, Proxima's basic, Ma's ultimate ability, Cull's passive, Thanos' special, his ult, and his passive. You might be able to skip the ult if you find it might be overkill, but if you need it, you might have to come back and grab it. You're going to be in on this team for quite a bit. You're looking at about approximately 1,400 T4s. Those are the orange ability mats. If you look up here, what we're talking about is this here. The orange ability material. You get very few of these, so you have to be sparing with who you go in on. Black Order is going to be costly. Going to be very, very good, though. This pretty much still beats anything in war. So definitely a good team to have. It's a team that alliances are going to look for. If you try to go up in higher alliances, they're going to want to see what your Black Order looks like, especially right now. Might become less relevant down the road, but right now, very relevant. So yeah, there is no really budget build for Black Order, unfortunately. It's a very expensive team, but you're going to get a lot out of it. So that's my budget build. Semi-budget build. At least you don't have to get every single one of them, but you got to get quite a few. All right, everybody. That's it for me tonight. Hail Hydra. Hail Heartgrave.